the interest of the person or the public. These decisions are difficult. Some have never been done before. But in my experience, with my conscience, I believe taking together justice and mercy requires, as a nation, to bear witness, to see people's pain, not to look away, and do the work to move pain to purpose, to show we can get a person, a nation, to a day of redemption. But we know the struggle toward redeeming the soul of this nation is difficult and ongoing. The distance is short between peril and possibility. But faith teaches us the America of our dreams is always closer than we think. That's the faith we must hold on to for the Saturdays to come. We must hold on to hope. We must stay engaged. We must always keep the faith in a better day to come. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not kidding.
Unbelievable.
So people of South Carolina, thank you for keeping the faith.
Unbelievable.
It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president.
They ought to walk him out in handcuffs.
The highest honor for Jill and our family. And as I close out this journey with you,
they ought to walk him out in handcuffs.
I'm just as passionate about our work as I was as a 29-year-old kid when I got elected.
You are a
disgrace. No one else to serve yet. I'm in no ways tired.
Somebody come get him off stage. He on here lying.
I've always heard before, we've come too far from where we started.
Did he just say he not tired? Did he just say he not tired? Then fell asleep and went on vacation 90% of his presidency. They ought to walk him out in handcuffs. Been lying the entire time. Been lied and spit on the American people. What a disgrace, sir. What a disgrace.
Nobody told me the road would be easy.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. My fellow Americans.
All right, Pastor.
Want to really see something that's said? Take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Look at fake news CNN. Unbelievable. Look at Tapper. Tapper. Trump's our 47th president, Tapper. Everybody on the fake news, CNN, MSNBC, all y'all, we want to thank y'all. They ought to walk in there and as soon as he got off the plane, him and Dr. Jill, the doctor, they ought to put them in handcuffs. Put your hands behind your back. And he walking out the door once again. Yeah. Exposing the corruption, the cover-ups, the inside jobs. People that are criminals, murderers. You know. People that had a planned attack on not just the president, but the American people. He walking out the door. With Mo Pod. Unbelievable. We told y'all what this was from the beginning, man. We tried telling you. I wish y'all. They say, Rick, you know, conspiracy theories come to be conspiracy facts. But I'm excited, y'all. It feels like Christmas. It's cold outside, man. Y'all get warm, man. Over here, there's a freeze right now going on in Texas, man, and all over the places and many other places, man. Y'all get warm for your boy, man. Crack open a hot one or a cold one. You know, make you some tea or some, you know, something hot or something, hot cocoa or something. You know, but we got to celebrate today, baby, because we are so back. We are so back, man. But this is ridiculous. Talking about he not going anywhere. He not tired. Sir, you need to go. They should have put him in handcuffs a long time ago. I'm just saying. criminals pardoning criminals. It's ridiculous. Let's see what fake news CNN talking about on this. Let's see.
MJ, tell us what's going on, what President Biden is doing on his way out the door.
Let's see what fake news CNN talking about.
Breaking news from the White House, a statement from President Joe Biden issuing preemptive pardons for a number of individuals that he said he is fearful will be persecuted, politically persecuted. I just want to tick through for you the list of people that the president says he is pardoning preemptively today. They include General Mark Milley, Dr. Anthony Fauci.
So they're guilty of something, huh? They must be guilty of something. They must be. This exposes everything, man. And what all of us have been talking about. And it's not just me, it's all of us. All of you guys have been saying, we've all been singing the exact same thing, man. And we called out the corruption from the start, man. This is a disgrace.
We also have members and staff of the committee that investigated the January 6th insurrection. He also said that that group would include the U.S. Capitol and D.C. Metropolitan Police officers who testified before this committee. Jake, this was a possibility that we had anticipated and that we reported was something that President Biden was considering. And in all of our reporting, we anticipated that if he were to take this action, it was very possible that it would happen at the very last minute. And here we are, just hours before President Biden is set to leave the White House. The president is announcing this very controversial decision. In this lengthy statement that he just released, he says, I believe in the rule of law, and I am optimistic that the strength of our legal institutions will ultimately prevail over politics. But he says these are exceptional circumstances, and I cannot in good conscience do nothing. Now, when he is talking about exceptional circumstances, of course, he is referring to the incoming President Donald Trump, who has made very clear in all of his public statements that he is focused on taking revenge on people, on individuals who he sees as having done him wrong. These specific people, and particularly if you think about the members who served on the January 6th committee, the staffers who served to work on that committee, these are people that the president obviously was worried would face a lot of legal troubles. Knew that there was just a lot of hardships coming their way, and this is why he is taking this action, to make sure that he can save them from all of that, even though he makes clear he does not believe that they did anything wrong, Jake.
Unbelievable.
All right, MJ Lee, thanks so much. Let's go to Jamie Gangel now for more on this. And Jamie Gangel, a lot of the members of the January 6th committee said that they didn't want preemptive pardons. They hadn't committed any crimes. They didn't think it was necessary. But there is always just the question of even a prosecution that isn't going anywhere is still going to cost potential defendants up to millions and millions of dollars to just to defend themselves.
Right. I think I was just texting with some people who would be covered by this. And as you know, Jake, there was a lot of discussion back and forth about this because members of the committee are covered by speech and debate. Technically, witnesses, Capitol Hill Police, D.C. Police, members of the committee, everybody I spoke to who was involved with the January 6th committee hearings felt very strongly. They all said exactly the same words. We didn't do anything wrong.
We didn't do anything wrong.
We don't need a pardon. But, and this is the but, it's the extraordinary circumstances. It's the fact that President Biden felt that there would be this political retribution, political revenge that did not have any bearing in the facts, but that he was giving members, committee staffers, witnesses, sort of a blanket of protection to try to send a message more than anything else. These people should not, nobody should go after these people.
John King, I want to ask you about these pardons early this morning from President Biden.
Well, the president and his team obviously think it is necessary. I think the result of it will be, it'd be a really interesting limousine ride and tea at the White House between President Biden, who decided this was necessary because of what he thinks about Donald Trump. So they're going to be sitting as close as we are, even closer. And this is to the very end, Biden versus Trump. Trump versus Biden. That has been the last 4 years of American life. It's been longer than that, actually, if you think about it. And so the president thinks this is necessary because of everything Donald Trump said during the campaign about retribution, about getting back at the people he thinks have been disloyal to him. Is it necessary? I'll leave that to smarter people than me. But what it does, it will continue the polarization and the fights, and it will put a burr in Donald Trump's saddle.
On this issue of the pardons, you know, this day is really interesting because you have all these customs that are going to be observed, these constitutional norms, in a day of norm busting, in an era of norm busting. So even as they ride to the Capitol, we now see these pardons right after the swearing.
We got all the evidence we need, folks. We knew it from the start, you know. Got all the evidence we need.
Yep. President Trump is going to sign some executive orders, many of which will be tested in court because they challenge the constitutional separation of powers. So it's a day of customs and a day of customs busting.
Yeah. And we're going to talk to Anita McBride, who's next to me, former Chief of Staff of First Lady Laura Bush, in just a moment, about the customs of the day and that transition. It's fascinating, the details of it. I do want to stick with the pardons, though. Tim Naftali, historian, talk about the nature of these pardons just in sort of the scope of history.
Well, we're going to see pardons today from both sides of the story on January 6th, right? President Biden surprised us by preemptively pardoning those who tried to investigate the insurrection. And later in the day, it is anticipated, and ex-President-elect Trump has told us he'll do this, we will see pardons for some of those who participated in the insurrection on January 6th. This is unprecedented in the sense that two presidents have done this. What isn't unprecedented, however, is for people who participated in an insurrection to get a pardon. On Christmas Day in 1868, Andrew Johnson did just that. He pardoned the Confederate leaders. Pardon anyone who had been indicted or tried for treason. So we've done this in the past. The difference, however, is that for all his flaws, and Andrew Johnson was a very flawed president, Andrew Johnson actually opposed the Confederacy. He supported the unity of the United States, which is why that's why Abraham Lincoln chose him as his running mate. But today we're going to see likely a president pardoning people who participated in insurrection that he supported. That will be a first.
Yeah. Alyssa, did these surprise you?
The pardons didn't surprise me, but I actually think Joe Biden might have done Donald Trump quite a favor with this. Listen, the American people elected Donald Trump to deal with the border, to deal with the cost of living, to deal with, restoring American leadership abroad, not to be going after Tony Fauci and prosecuting four-star generals. And as much as some of his base may have liked that, most of the country would hate that sideshow. And this kind of allows him to focus on the things that he's good at, that he was elected to do, not get distracted with what would end up being something that I think
Alyssa Farr Griffin
kind of feeds to his worst instincts. That said, I think he's going to be mad about this. I think it is going to be an awkward car ride over, and I could see it changing some of the remarks that he gives later today. He's going to be speaking twice. I'm almost certain he'll end up addressing this in some form.
Let's go back to CNN's Pamela Brown, who has some reaction from General Mark Milley, the retired chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, to the preemptive pardon he is getting from President Biden. We should note Donald Trump gave General Milley at one point the Presidential Medal of Freedom before he decided he was a political enemy of his. Pamela?
That's right. I just received the statement from General Milley. We're the first to obtain it here, Jake. And let me just read the statement to you. In response to this preemptive pardon from President Biden, the statement says, "My family and I are deeply grateful for the president's action today. After 43 years of faithful service in uniform to our nation, protecting and defending the Constitution, I do not wish to spend whatever remaining time the Lord grants me fighting those who unjustly might seek retribution for perceived slights. I do not want to put my family, my friends, friends, and those with whom I serve through the resulting distraction, expense, and anxiety. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve our great country in uniform for over 4 decades, and I will continue to keep faith and loyalty to our nation and Constitution until my dying breath. I thank my wife, Holly Ann, my children, my dear friends, and my trusted colleagues who have supported me throughout my life. God bless the United States.
What a disgrace. What an absolute disgrace, man.